would you still advise that it would be wrong to lock down the country at that stage, nearly 3 weeks earlier than we actually did, and that it would be right to go ahead with events like the Cheltenham Festival or the Liverpool Champions League match?
Well, I will restate what I said then, that I think this is a new virus. We don't know about it. It's something that nobody had ever seen before, and therefore inevitably we're learning as we go along. And as we learn, we will become more informed about which decisions we should take, and that's going to continue to be the case. And I'd remind you that we're still quite early in this epidemic, actually. I mean, although most countries are getting on top of the first peak in some ways, it doesn't mean the whole thing's gone away. So there's an awful lot still to learn. In terms of what would I do in retrospect if we knew then what we know now, I think that's something for the future to look at. And certainly there will be times when evidence didn't allow decisions to be made that you could make now, and there'll be times at which you look back and say that something might have been done differently. I've got no doubt about that. I think in terms of the timing at which we took our intervention, and I think the CMO was clear about this when he spoke recently, when you look at everything that happened, the speed at which it happened, maybe days either way would have made a difference. But I think it's difficult to look back and say 3 weeks was an obvious point to do it. I don't think that was clear. I don't think it's clear now. The other thing I would say, which is really quite important to understand, I think, is that we now, with the investment that we made in genomics of the virus quite early on, where we've been able to sequence thousands and thousands of viral genomes, that allows tracking of the provenance of different outbreaks. And one of the things that it looks like very clearly is that early in March, the UK got many different imports of virus from many different places. And those places were particularly from European countries with outbreaks. And so we see a big influx of cases, probably from Italy and Spain, looking at the genomics of the virus in early March, seeded right the way across the country. And so whether that was people returning from half term, whether it's business travellers or not, we don't know. But a lot of the cases in the UK didn't come from China and didn't come from the places you might have expected. They actually came from European imports and the high level of travel into the UK around that time.